Welcome to this explainer. Okay, we are going to dive right into things today. We'll be unpacking a really warm, completely shame-free approach to breaking out of those stubborn, everyday ruts we all find ourselves in. Seriously, if you've ever felt completely stuck in a loop of your own making, you are absolutely in the right place. We're going to explore how to use actionable behavioral design to actually change your patterns. The whole thing is based on this fascinating idea that your past automatically becomes your future, unless you deliberately interrupt it. But don't worry, we're going to give you the exact map for that interruption.
So let me ask you a question. Why do we keep making the exact same 11 p.m. promises to ourselves? You know the ones. I'm not going to stress spend tomorrow. Or I'm definitely putting the phone away and going to sleep early. Yet, despite our absolute best intentions, we fall right back into those same negative loops, like impulse spending or late-night doom scrolling. It can feel incredibly frustrating, right? Almost like you're reading from a script you never even remember signing. Well, if you've been there, you definitely aren't alone.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, the autopilot trap.
You see, our unexamined everyday patterns simply run on autopilot. They don't need our permission to run, and honestly, they barely even need our attention. Left alone, your history just automatically queues up to become your future. But here is the absolutely crucial, empathy-driven takeaway you need to hear today. This isn't a character flaw, it's architecture. Repeating bad habits isn't a personal failure, and it doesn't mean you lack discipline. It is literally just your neurological machinery doing its job. Your brain efficiently files away repeated behaviors so it can free up your conscious attention for other things. It's just architecture. And the really good news here? Architecture can be remodeled. To remodel it, though, we first have to understand the blueprint. Journalist Charles Duhigg synthesized a whole wave of neuroscience into a very simple three-part structure called the habit loop. It's like a giant neurological puzzle with three pieces: a cue, a routine, and a reward. Let's take that 9 p.m. phone scroll. The silence or tiredness you feel at 9 p.m., that's the cue. Opening the app and swiping is the routine. And that tiny little hit of novelty or distraction, that's the reward. Your brain absolutely craves this reward because it provides a quick dopamine hit while saving mental energy. It's essentially a shortcut for your brain to feel good without having to work hard at all. So it learns that this routine delivers a reliable reward, chunks it together, and puts it right on autopilot.
Which brings us to Section 2, hacking the present. To change the future, we have to start hacking the present tense. And here's where most people get it completely wrong. They rely on sheer willpower. According to researcher B.J. Fogg's behavior model, motivation is actually the least stable, least reliable lever we have. Building your change strategy around willpower is like building a house with wood you already know warps in the rain. It reliably fails. Instead of willpower, we use the one interruption plan, which relies on 3 tiny, actionable steps. Step 1, name the specific cue. Not when I'm stressed, but when I see an unread work email at 9 p.m. Step 2, create an if-then plan. Research shows that deciding your response in advance dramatically improves follow-through. Step 3, shrink the replacement behavior down until willpower is completely irrelevant. So if your instinct is to go for a run, shrink it down to simply putting on your walking shoes. Putting on shoes bypasses your brain's resistance entirely, taking you right up to the starting line. And this brilliantly illustrates why you really need to give yourself some grace. We've all heard the popular myth that it takes 21 days to form a habit, right? Well, that is entirely made up. A study from University College London tracked real people building habits and found a massive variation. 66 days was actually the median, but for the slowest automators, it took up to 254 days. So if you quit on day 30 because it still feels hard, you aren't failing, you're just expecting a 21-day timeline that simply doesn't exist. Small loops compound, but they require patience. Now, habits aren't just physical routines. They are also the stories we tell ourselves. Just like a physical routine, our inner monologues can run on complete autopilot until we choose to rewrite them. Psychologist Dan McAdams has shown that how we narrate our setbacks measurably impacts our well-being. Think about it like this. A contamination story says, "I lost my job and everything is ruined." It takes a good or neutral life event and taints the whole thing. But a redemptive story looks at the exact same facts and says, "I lost my job, which actually forced me to find a better path." You can quite literally rewrite your past in the present moment by consciously shifting your narration. You aren't erasing the hard parts. You're just realizing the story isn't finished yet. Moving on to Section 3, meeting future you. Why does making good, healthy choices for our future selves feel so incredibly difficult in the present moment? Like, why do we skip the retirement contribution or put off having that really hard conversation?
Well, the answer actually lies in the brain scanner. Neurological research by Hal Hirschfield revealed something pretty wild. For a lot of us, our brain processes our future self not as us, but as a literal stranger. And the numbers reflect this perfectly. People who feel connected to their future selves have a 73% compliance rate on doing what they agreed to do. But for people who view future them as a stranger, that compliance drops to basically a coin flip at 50%. It's a perception problem, not a discipline problem. So how do we fix that? How do we close that neurological stranger gap? Well, you do something simple and maybe slightly strange. You write a literal letter to your future self, maybe 1, 5, or 10 years out. But you really have to make it specific. Include a real date, a current struggle you're dealing with, and a totally ordinary detail, like the exact temperature of your coffee today. Naming those ordinary present tense details is exactly what bridges the gap and helps your brain recognize future you as someone worth protecting today. Once you actually care about that future self, you need to protect their plans. This brings us to a brilliant tool from cognitive psychologist Gary Klein called the premortem. Instead of planning forward, you plan backward. Ask yourself, it is 12 months from today, and this project or goal has failed completely. Why? By assuming the failure has already happened, you give your brain full permission to honestly name the unglamorous, boring reasons things might go sideways. Like the fact that you hit snooze 4 times every single winter morning. You can admit that without feeling like a total pessimist, and then you can actually fix those vulnerabilities today. Section 4, Safety Check and the Weekly Ritual. Just a quick warm note before we start wrapping up. Deep, trauma-rooted patterns that cause intense physical symptoms or severe distress absolutely require real support, like a trauma-informed therapist or the 988 Lifeline. But for our everyday, ordinary habits, we can rely on a simple weekly ritual to stay on track. This brings us to your big, actionable takeaway, the weekly loop check. It takes about 20 minutes, maybe on a Sunday evening or a Monday morning, and it compresses all these amazing tools to help you actually survive an ordinary busy Tuesday. First, map the loudest loop from your past week. Next, interrupt it with a tiny if-then plan. Then, premortem the week ahead, figuring out what's most likely to go wrong. Finally, reflect on what went well and check in on your automaticity ledger. It's just a small, repeatable action run consistently. And that brings us to the end of our explainer. I want to leave you with a provocative thought, inspired by the idea of writing a toast your future self would actually give at your retirement. Ask yourself, what is one small, unglamorous habit you want your future self to toast you for? We're not talking about a grand achievement here, just a tiny, everyday choice. Remember, your past only becomes your future through repetition you don't examine. But by choosing tiny interruptions today, you are building a legacy your future self will absolutely thank you for. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I hope you feel incredibly encouraged to start shrinking those habits down and taking that very first step today.